Namaskar and welcome to Pradipta's Musings. Today I have chosen a very sensitive topic as subject of my musing, which is infidelity in marriage. Modern trend is to go for love marriages instead of traditional arranged marriages, and having by and large a liberal outlook on the sacred and rigid institution called marriage, which is based on strict rules and regulations set by religion and society. Swami Vivekananda has held the institution of marriage in very high esteem, almost equivalent to monasticism, provided the spouses in a marital relationship follow strictly the sacred vows of chastity, poverty and charity in true sense. One-pointed devotion and unconditional commitment towards each other, it is greatly valued in a marital relationship, and this ideal should be followed strictly, and this can raise the institution of marriage to the highest order equivalent to monastic life, which is a life dedicated and committed to a very high ideal centered around the absolute reality, which is called God. Marriage becomes sacred and equivalent to a life lived in godliness when the spouses remain completely committed and devoted to each other mentally, physically and verbally. No form of even minor deviation from the ideal is allowed in the institution of marriage, in which sacred vows of lifelong commitment, understanding, love, empathy, utmost loyalty and uncompromised companionship are exchanged between the spouses. Husband and wife are not mere friends living together, indulging in physical relationship and taking the liberty of mixing up unnecessarily with other persons of opposite gender through texting, phoning or physical meetings and crossing the boundaries which disturb the sanctity of marital bond. I have come across one or two such obnoxious so-called liberal couple who take the sacred and legal institution of marriage for granted and create havoc in the lives of innocent law, social norms and religion abiding people by intruding forcibly and manipulatively in the happy families, taking advantage of the foolishness and selfishness of one of the spouses involved in the marriage. Main problem is immaturity of one of the spouses, which leads to such issues of infidelity. Such idiotic antisocial couples who claim to have liberal mindsets should be highly condemned and they should be ostracized by the society. Infidelity is a detrimental issue in marriage, which is a sacred social and religious institution binding two people and building up a family. Infidelity can be emotional cheating, which can initiate as simple texting through social media apps of modern day between two people who start out as just two friends of opposite genders mainly and gradually become over friendly and ultimately they cross boundaries to intrude into the personal space meant only for the spouses to share and nobody else. On one occasion, Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi had advised one of her women devotees not to even trust God if God comes to her assume the form of a man. Sri Ramakrishna has cautioned all the devotees to avoid close company of opposite gender at all costs to get saved from the danger of falling into the trap of lust and illicit relationships. Society and religion have never ever endorsed infidelity in any form and have condemned breach of trust and loyalty as sin of the highest order. Any relationship, especially a delicate one like marriage, thrives only on mutual respect, understanding and above all, trust and loyalty. To keep a marital relationship alive, mental and spiritual maturity is needed from both the husband and the wife. Selflessness, spirit of dedication, total surrender, and unconditional love and empathy form the basic foundation of a successful marriage. Love in marriage is not a mere feeling, but it's a lifelong promise of commitment and loyalty to each other. Any sort of breach in this loyalty through involvement of a third person in a marriage is a severe blow on the sanctity of marriage and shakes its very foundation. Infidelity is consequence of immaturity and selfish attitude of one of the partners in a marriage, and forgiveness is not easy for the victim of such a breach of trust. Spouses should completely shun company of such people who can create confusion and suspicion in a marital relationship and destroy the peace and sanctity of family life. Strong willpower and cultivation of ethical and moral values can definitely help in overcoming such weakness of character, which results in infidelity and risky, immoral and antisocial behavior, which can destroy a valuable relationship like marriage and can ruin the value system of a society. So, in a nutshell, infidelity in any form, be emotional or physical, should be completely shunned in a sacred relationship like marriage. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.